The day Nurgle died. Well, almost. We're going to talk about it in the last episode of Nurgle's November. At the height of one of Khorne's rare moments of supremacy in the Great Game, Tzeentch sensed opportunity. Whispering through ever-changing masks and false futures, the Architect of Fate convinced Nurgle that a grand strike into the Skull Lands would topple the Blood God once and for all. He promised that the Changer's own hosts, and even those of Slaanesh, would march beside the Plague God's hordes. Trusting in these honeyed lies, Grandfather Nurgle dispatched his most beloved demons, instructing them to bear the rich gifts of his garden directly into Khorne's domain. Tzeentch's scheme worked perfectly. Intricate veils of illusion misled entire blood legions, sending them chasing mirages across the wastes. The Skull Throne's defenses faltered, exposed to what seemed to be a united assault by Nurgle and Slaanesh. Khorne's forces were driven back step by step, almost to the very brass citadel itself. Around that fortress, Nurgle's children labored tirelessly. Horticus Slimix plowing the earth, Roticus the Rainfather soaking the soil, until sprawling patches of the Garden of Nurgle bloomed across the Skull Lands. Victory appeared inevitable, but Tzeentch's promise had been nothing more than carefully laid out kindling. In the midst of the advance, a so-called stray spark of warp flame leapt from the staff of a Tzeentchian herald, a spark placed with malicious precision. The dry, heat-blasted flora of Nurgle caught instantly. The garden turned into an inferno. The betrayal was total. The wall of flame roared to life, encircling the brass citadel and consuming Nurgle's demons and the Slaaneshi forces alike. What had been the Plague God's proudest expansion became a burning pyre sculpted by the Architect of Fate. And as the firestorm spread back towards the Plague God's own realm, only Roticus's desperate reaction halted the catastrophe before it reached Nurgle's mansion. When the flames illuminated the sky, the Blood Legion finally understood the truth. They had never been outmaneuvered by Nurgle. They had been played by Tzeentch. With rage renewed, Khorne's warriors surged back into the fray, slaughtering the last of the invaders, while somewhere in the shifting haze the Changer of Ways laughed at how perfectly his lies had blossomed. And far away, in the quiet heart of his smoldering garden, Nurgle felt a rare and heavy sorrow, for even the Grandfather's boundless affection could not bend the sting of such a cruel betrayal. And that's the story. I hope you guys enjoyed Nurgle's November. More awesome lore to come next month, and subscribe to the channel for more Warhammer 40k lore.